All right, here we go. Let's get the screen actually turned on. John DeMarco is saying good evening. Good evening, John. And Sci-Fi Nation is also joining us. Hey, Sci-Fi, saying greetings at Life with Matthew and fellow nerds. Greetings. So I am hoping two things, actually. First of all, after listening to Joe's stream earlier, Bird of Prey 5 stream, he was talking about having to go through and set all his live streams to unlisted, which, you know, it stinks that YouTube is making us do things like this, but I went ahead and did that too, and I put them on a playlist called Let's Play, which, you know, I don't know if I'll ever do like a live stream the way Joe or Anti-Trekker does it. But I noticed that the video quality whenever I am moving is just garbage. I had no idea, guys, so I've made a couple tweaks. I hope that you get a better quality whenever I'm walking around, because I had no idea the quality was just dropping into the bin whenever I was in motion. Because I actually have really good internet now. Like, it had been pretty lackluster recently, but I've upgraded, and so they finally made the internet speed in my area acceptable for the 21st century. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, I still fail to see how that affects views. It has to do with their stupid algorithm. Like, YouTube is so totalitarian in how they do things. Like, I remember, actually, tell you what, the second thing I hope is that this will probably be the last Talos Principal. There might be a second one, but we are on the last stage of the last temple, so we're going to see what goes on here. So, yeah, YouTube has always just been really dumb with their algorithms. Like, for a long time, they had this deal where it was something like, depending on how many responses you got, or it was a weird thing. But what it encouraged was that there were tons and tons and tons of just like these vapid girls who would know nothing about the subject, just absolutely nothing. But they would get up there, they'd be pretty, and they'd talk in front of a camera, and they'd get clicks, and that was all that mattered, that someone would click on your video. And so as a result, these response videos that had nothing to do with anything in the end were the highest watched things. And so YouTube changed their algorithm again, and it didn't work. Like, everything they do just seems to make it worse. And I think that's what we're going to see here. And Sci-Fi Nation, or John saying, I'm looking forward to see how this game concludes. Me too. And I think this is a multiple ending situation. I've seen that there is some achievement called Restore Backup of Yourself. I have no idea how to do that, but once I find out, I might come back and try to do some of the other endings that the game has to offer. And Sci-Fi Nation saying, guess it's just short 10-minute vids for me then, up to 27-ish, time to get some out. Yeah, I can't wait for you to get some. And and Sci-Fi Nation says, John DeMarco is saying, yeah, I'm really interested to see how it goes. I'm also, so I thought about it a while more after the last stream, because I was just so disappointed with the fact that they forced us with no option to delete what they were calling the Serpent, the Milton AI. And it really, really made me like pissed off, to be honest. And after thinking about it for a while, I realized the thing that was really getting me about the way that went down was the whole thing that Milton was saying was like, oh, well, you're just blind faith, and if you didn't have blind faith, then you would be rejecting him and going with me, and you'd be doing exactly what I say without thinking about it. And I suddenly realized, well, that's the very definition of blind faith. Like, the game's trying to make it out like because we sat there and said, you know what, I want to think about this more, I want to give it more consideration. They try to make it out as if we were just being, you know, blind faith, and that the only way not to have blind faith was to blindly have faith in the other guy who was telling us what to do. And it was just so annoying to me. And yeah, I was also disappointed because I did want to have more options than what they gave me. And I was really frustrated that they didn't give us that chance. Let's see. I'm gonna need one more one more weight than I have. No, wait, I got this. We're going to try starting with this one first. I'm not sure how it's going to go. But what I'm trying to do right now is get everything set up so that I can see how many of these blue lights I can actually activate by sending this connector up into the air on the box. So we'll see how many things I can actually get here. I might be getting way ahead of myself with this. Let's see. We'll just select everything. I have no idea what all we'll get by doing this. All right. That is a ton of stuff. Let's see what happens. What happens is I need the other connector. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, it irritated me. Why only deletion as an option unless an AI was running everything? Yeah, and it was such a game that seems like they were really out to give us options. It was frustrating that they removed all agency, all ability to choose from the option list. Let's see what I can see from up here. So I need a second connector to get things really going here. Which means, let's see if I can't use this box on this pressure switch. And then what? Okay, so there's another companion cube I can get. So let's see what this gets me. Let's see. Well, another cube is nice, but what I really need is another connect. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can launch this cube over. Nope, that won't do anything for me because there wasn't another fan on that side of the fence. Whenever I was on that side of the fence, I had to climb a ladder, and I can't use ladders. But you know, I don't want to send that over there. I think that'll just cause a game over situation for me. So let's send myself back over. Maybe I'm missing something here. Let's see. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, where does that other fan look at? Let's see. The one that the fans that were side by side to each other. You know, I didn't look. I only went up to one of them. Let's see. Uh-oh. That coughing is the sound of my son hopefully not waking up. So I honestly, I was gonna start streaming at 7:30 because my kids went to bed early tonight. They stayed up so late last night. We have Sunday night church called Awana, and the kids just have so much fun. It's a youth program for churches that, you know, the whole point of them is that they're designed for churches that don't have a dedicated youth program, and they teach boys and girls about the gospel of Christ. That's their whole point. That you learn memory verses, you go over Bible lessons, and the goal is to train you just about the truth of the gospel. And so our kids go to it on Sunday night, and they have so much fun, but it ends up keeping them up pretty later than they're used to. They're pretty much tired on Mondays. So I figured this would be a great time for me to, live stream. And then Michael was already live streaming. Anti-Trucker was live streaming. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll get it next time. But then he ended early, which, I'm happy he ended early. But at the same time, I know the reason he ended was because he's just in a lot of pain right now with his knee surgery stuff. And so I do have sympathy for him on that regard. Man, I am missing something. What I feel like should be really obvious. Let's see. I'm looking at a spot that I don't see how we could get to in any way. And then Sci-Fi Nation is saying, kiddos first, my friend. Yeah, and it sounds like maybe he rolled back over and went back to sleep. John is saying I recognize that sound, and Sci-Fi saying, my 3 oldest are 20, 19, and 16. Mrs. Sci-Fi's son is 7, but I've been a daddy last 6.5 years. Well, congratulations. I love being a dad. I really do. I'm honestly pretty antisocial. I really much like to be a recluse. My dad was the opposite. My dad loved to be out and just always doing things and exploring, and honestly, it wore me out. But he's someone, it really, just the knowledge of all the fun things that my dad did really encourages me to do fun things with my kids too. And I honestly wish that we lived in a more rural area, because I think my oldest son would just love so much to be exploring everywhere. He loves just natural sciences. He loves getting dirty. He loves learning about everything. And so I often wish that we did live somewhere more rural where he could get out and explore. But as it is, we live in suburbia, and there's just no way to get around it. Like the jobs I do, the work I have to do, there's no way to get around the fact that we have to be in this kind of environment. Man, my phone is just making all sorts of noise tonight. I am going to turn that down just a little bit, guys. I apologize. Because that little sound was the sound of my mom getting home. After my dad passed away, we added her to an application called Life 360. And the whole idea of it is you can be notified when people get home, when they leave, stuff like that. I installed it years ago because we'll give that a shot. Because my wife was always wondering when I was going to get home, because I'm out and about, I'm trying to work, and she's just curious. What does the schedule hold today? Am I going to be able to get home at a regular time, or is it going to be another late night programming and being at job sites? And so I decided, well, you know what? I can just get an app for that, and then you can always know when I'm coming home and what's going on. And then after my dad passed away, I added my mom to it because I just want to know she's home safe at the end of the day, because she is a health inspector. So she goes to all sorts of places where people are just so excited that she's there, shutting down their businesses because they are not following proper health and safety guidelines. Man, this is really, really getting me stuck. So I added her to it, and and that way also, just if she's out and about and all of a sudden her car dies on her or something, I can know, and I can make sure that she's not stranded in the middle of a field somewhere with her phone dead or something. And Wesley's here. Hey, Wesley, how you doing? He says, greeting, friends. And John is saying, hi, Wesley. And Sci-Fi Nation is live with Matthew. I am very antisocial with anxiety, but love public speaking. Had 2 years of it in high school. And then we're all saying greetings to Wesley. And John is saying, we lived in the country when the children were small. I liked it very much. Man, I'd love that. I keep telling my wife, if I could find a place in the country that had 10 acres and high-speed internet, I'd move there in a heartbeat. I would. That'd just be my dream location. Okay, I feel like I am missing something so painfully obvious here. We've been in there. We can't get in there yet. And then there's this spot. And then there's this spot. This spot feels like I'm missing something. Okay. And I think I need a reset. I think I needed that other... Well, I can take this fan. This will be a good weight. Let's try this again. Let's see. A cube will not be tall enough to get over this. Oh, but you know what? I see. I can turn on this guy over here and have him be my light source. Like I can bounce off that and get a little further in the game. So let's give this a shot. Or let's give this a try. I don't want to offend the YouTube algorithm. Gosh, the fact we have to say things like that is just so annoying. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, I had a wood shop, metal shop, auto shop in high school. Loved computers, computer science, everything to do with it. Self-taught since 80s on the PC. That's awesome. Yeah, I went the self-taught route on PCs. Or, you know, I say self-taught. I actually had a lot of good mentors who helped me out. Like a lot of guys I really respect. People that I don't necessarily get along with anymore, or see anymore, I should say more accurately. But they're all people I really respected. They really knew material. I really benefited from being under their tutelage. Well, shoot, I thought I was onto something right there. I thought for sure that was how I was going to be able to get the beam over here. Okay, I am walking around in circles right now. There's nothing we can do in there. So what, I'm going to do the reset here because I think I messed up. I don't think I should have sent that companion cube over there. And let's see, Sci-Fi is saying, down with the poo-tube AI, and I was a reclusive nerd, lol. Still kind of am. Yeah, I just, you know, I enjoy, question mark, being around, like, I enjoy being at a place, but I don't like going to a place. Like, if there's a party, I enjoy going to the party. I can socialize and have fun, but I don't like going to a party. Like, that just wears me out. And then once I'm done at the party, I'm just exhausted. Like, I just need to be alone for, you know, a week or two, and then I'll be ready to go have fun again. Okay, maybe not that bad, but that's how it feels sometimes. Like, just, it's draining to be around people for too long for me. Okay, now, if I turn that on, am I just missing obvious things here? Let's see if I've turned anything off at this point. So I have it lit up there. That will get me to fly over. Okay, well, I was hoping something else had turned off, but no such luck. So, when we had that connector over here, we weren't able to get to anywhere significant. And I don't feel like getting a cube over there will let us get the connector up high enough to get over that. Or over that fence. Like, all these fences are too high to use the cube to get over it. You know, one thing I didn't try was putting the connector on that side. So let's bring the connector over here. I don't think this will work, but we'll give it the old college try. Let's start with that. Okay, I didn't think that would work. I was hoping it would give me just enough of a different angle to connect, but clearly not. I really need a second connector. You know what? We'll do a second puzzle. And John saying, I know how you feel about parties. Never been my thing.
God, there's no time. Just not enough time. We're trying to build the future out of old video game code and half-finished research projects. We should have had years, maybe decades, with the kind of money they used to put into building bombs. If I stop and think about how crazy this is, I will have a nervous breakdown. So I won't. Yeah, okay. Back to work, Alex.
So I have done this level a little bit. Over the weekend, I went and got all the stars that I could find. I was not able to get the very last star because in order to get it, and I had to look this one up. Like, I looked all over the game, and it wasn't working at all. Like, there was nowhere obvious. I had gotten all the stars out of the main level, so it was somewhere in the overworld. I was finally able to find out that it, is this it? Okay. That it is hidden. Where was it? Oh, it's hidden on the 5th level of the tower. Like, you have to jump off the tower to get to it. So I looked it up there. So whenever I finally get that one, I'm not that clever. I had to look it up. But as a result, I did come through to this level, and I did find the star in it. So I was able to halfway beat this one, which would make you think I'd solve this one faster, but I've actually forgotten the solution here. I know it involves connectors. Let's see, Sci-Fi Nation is saying there's an Xbox One's puzzle game like this, and without Elohim and Milton, though. That's cool. Okay, it has something to do with the box. That's right. We need to turn on that fan and get the box. So let's see. The fan is connected to the red light. Well, that's helpful. Oh, wow. You know, sometimes I'm impressed with how smart I am. And sometimes I feel quite stupid. I'm over here like, well, I gotta be standing on that switch in order to make everything work. And then I remember that, wait, I can stand on the switch. Like, I don't have to use the connector. Let's see, we'll select that. Select him, and now the box goes off, the box goes on, oh wait, I gotta do one more thing. Let's see. As soon as I take this guy, then I'll be trapped in here. So there's one more spot I need to set up. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, I saw a guard tower. Fight the power. Let's see. Oh, wait. So I have been, there's a YouTube channel I've been watching and having a lot of fun doing it. It's called The Mind of Freeman, which, you know, if you ever played Half-Life, you probably remember the old Gordon Freeman stuff. Okay, there we go. So now I can, what can I do? But anyway, The Mind of Freeman, this guy does just a hilarious, you know, the Freeman Gordon in Half-Life, he never talks. And the guy has done just an incredible job playing the game and then recording over everything that he thinks Freeman would have been saying. Okay, so now I can break the chain. That's what it is. Like this. But he also does, like, he finally finished that, which is just a hilarious series, well worth the watch. But he finally finished it, and he has been doing a second series called, what was it? Ross's Game Dungeon, which I guess that's his name, Ross. And what he does is he reviews just like abandonware and really old games. There we go. And just his sense of humor is hilarious. I have been having way too much fun watching his old video game stuff, or reviews of old video games, like the Deus Ex games, and just things I've never even heard of. When instead I should be working on my own video stuff. Getting the last of my Star Wars stuff done before Star Wars comes out in, what is it, like a month now, I think it is? And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, every time I see red and blue lasers, all I hear is splat. Thanks, Matt. Now I have to play Half-Life. And I miss Total Biscuit, the cynical Brit. Yeah, I don't know that guy. Whoa, okay. I was not expecting that. Okay, so these Pokeballs, they get blown out by the fans before coming back to their track. Sci-Fi Nation, have you played Half-Life before, right? You're just saying that hearing that guy talk about it makes you want to do it again? Play it again? Let's take that. There's no way that's important. Hey, how's the video quality on this time? Are y'all still getting just the incredibly low quality where everything is artifacting every time I take more than a step? Or is it actually doing a little bit better? Because I told it to... I think I cheated right there. I don't think I should have gotten that. I told it to try to improve the encoder settings, but who knows if that actually did anything. Let's see. I want to block that. So let's build a little block tower. And so video looks good. Okay, I am so glad to hear that, because I recently started using Streamlabs to do these streams, which is just OBS, the free version of the software I've been using. Streamlabs has their skin for it, I guess it is. And their skin is a lot better. One of my favorite things about the Streamlabs skin for OBS is that in OBS, just vanilla, your top button says record, and right underneath it says stream. And that's how I accidentally streamed a huge video instead of recording a video. And if you were here for that, that was a hilarious, fun time for everyone else. Nice, keep you humble time for me. But it was definitely an unexpected thing. What does this one do? But one of the nice things about the Streamlab versions of it is that you have the record button way over here, and then the stream button way over here, separated by two other buttons. So it's really hard for you to accidentally start streaming when you don't mean to. I say really hard, but not impossible. I have little doubt that one day I will make the mistake of streaming again when I don't mean to be. Okay, let's see how fast I can do this. Okay, was that it? Is this where the... Oh, excellent. That's where it is. John is saying, I saw that. You did fine, by the way. Thank you, John. Well, you know, it was just one of those things where it was a surprising to roll back the veil that much, to see that much behind the scenes. And then Sci-Fi Nation saying last stream was fine. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe it's just the way YouTube was doing it, but I swear, whenever I was looking at the YouTube stream, it was so like, it looked like I was watching it on like 480 or even 360. Like, it was that bad. Wait, hold on. Let's see the name of this level. I wasn't paying attention. Crisscross Conundrum Advanced. Oh, we're going to be recording ourselves and using... Oh gosh, okay. I'm sure I can do this. Let's see, all we got to do is get into that blue hole. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. But yeah, on my Star Wars videos, I have it planned out, and if I can actually stick to it, in theory, I will be able to get each video done with just enough time to get them all done, and then see Star Wars on opening night, which I'm committed to actually seeing it on opening night because I have complained about it. Like, my philosophy is, if you spend more than one video talking about something, you need to pony up and actually go watch that video or watch that movie out in the movie theaters. Like, even if you think it's going to be atrocious, At the point where you complain that much, you gotta pony up. Fair is fair. At least that's my mindset. I don't know if it's really a logical one, but it's the one I'm gonna work with. Okay, let's see if I go behind. I'm not sure if this will work, but we'll give this a try. So my thought process is, if I go back like this, I can pick up one of the connectors. Nope, it won't work because I won't be able to get to this guy. Let's try this again. Okay, I know that what I'm gonna need to do is have this lit up red, and this, if I bring, see, I need to bring the red guy, I need to bring him behind here, I thought, because then I can bring the blue guy out this way and connect right like that. And then hopefully I could bring the red guy over here-ish. Where's my other? There it is. But I don't think I don't think I can get far enough over it. Oh, you know, it looked like I was close. Maybe I was underestimating my ability here. Let's try this again. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, my TV is 720, look good to me. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe it's just something they did in post-production. And then Sci-Fi Nation is saying, Binks. You know, I said this in one of my previous videos, but for all the flack I give Disney, and rightly so, Disney has dropped the ball just incredibly with this, in my opinion. I think I can drop in my opinion. Disney has dropped the ball incredibly on this. I think that's an objective statement. But for all the flack I give them, I'm not convinced Lucas would have done any better. I still quite remember Jar Jar Binks, and you know, I really do love Star Wars, and if I didn't love Star Wars, like Anti-Trekker says, you know, if we didn't love something, we would not nearly care this much. Like, if I had no love for Star Trek, I wouldn't talk about Star Trek. And if I had no love for Star Wars, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't be talking about it. But we do, in fact, care about these things. Let's see. And that's why we do talk about it. There we go. That's the way we need it. Okay. But so for all the flack I give Disney, rightly so, I don't think Lucas would have necessarily done better. Like, he had a trilogy in mind, and he set up, like, he actually gave the notes to Kennedy and company on exactly how his trilogy was supposed to go. And they got rid of all of it. And I have no idea if we would have gotten a superior movie out of Lucas's notes. I'd like to think so. I got several more videos of just cinematic details of things that Abrams just completely fluffed on, just completely messed up on. So I'd like to think that a Lucas movie would have done a better job, but I just don't know anymore. You just can't tell with George. Okay. So let's see how long it takes me to work this out. I might have should have just stopped the recording and started over again, because I kind of messed around here for a while. Anyway, while that's going on, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, just don't do the negativity, Matthew, please. It's overrated. And you know, I had a video I started to do once, and it wasn't for Star Wars, I don't think. It was for something else. I was really frustrated at some movie. I forget what it was. And I had a video where I launched into everything wrong, and I got done, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't interesting. It was just blah. And I kind of realized at that moment that I don't have the talent for doing a funny negative review. Like Anti-Trekker's reviews of the Borg and The Last Jedi, they just had me rolling. They are hilarious, and I love that kind of humor that he's pulling off. And I realized just that I don't have that humor ability. That's not something in my wheelhouse. Like whenever I try to do it, it just comes off like whiny. But you know, I loved Anti-Trekker stuff, and I loved Mahler's stuff. If you haven't seen his take on The Last Jedi, it's like a 4 or 5 hour review. Wait, Milton's back? Or have I not read this yet? Maybe I haven't read this one yet. But he just does a great job of deconstructing on a more serious level everything that went wrong with The Last Jedi. Okay, it's just we hadn't read it yet. I got excited for a second for no reason. I thought maybe Milton had come back to say something one last time. So let's read about the final entry for the Arcaday Journal. Team diminishing by the day. Proud of them, nevertheless. Archive now incomprehensibly huge. Still missing thousands of works. Impossible to truly finish. Work already commenced on a sorting program to help catalog the archive resources in our absence. But like everything else, it has its foibles. Talk to Alexandra. Talos going well. Maybe the archive's first user will be terrestrial after all. Estimate about a week. Maybe 10 days before I'm unable to keep working. A betrayal to leave early? And Arcaday, he was one of the people on our team trying to make this program. Which, hey, let me take a quick minute here, because I realize that some of you may be joining in for the first time and have no idea what's going on. Which, thank you for joining me, by the way. I see DJ's on the stream. Hey, DJ. So glad you were able to join us. So, if you haven't been here before, hopefully this is the last session of this game. And I have another game that I'm hoping is interactive that maybe we can do next. Because this is a format I really enjoy. The kind of, I get to talk with y'all and we get to make a decision together on the direction the game goes. And kind of have some more just lighthearted talk while we play a game. But the overarching plot is that things went bad on Earth. Some sort of disease came through and it's killed everyone. Once you get it, you deteriorate quickly and have like a couple weeks to live until you're just not able to function anymore and then you die. And so we are an AI program that's been running through iterations to achieve sentience or sapience. We've talked about this before. I always forget the difference between the sentience and sapience, but they're hoping that we will become human, basically, or a new creation. So that's the sum totality of what's going on. That this is an AI program, and they think just by throwing as much knowledge into a computer environment as possible, life will spring forth. Is the basic concept of what's going on here in this game. And let me take a quick minute also to read through the chats before I start getting to way behind here. So let's see. We're talking about not being negative, and I really try not to. I am going to critique it and be honest in my critiques, but at the end of the day, I also want to identify the solution, which I hope I did that well enough in my last video, where I did identify, like, yeah, you just did horrible pacing. And here's some things that we could have done to fix it. And my wife watched the video, and she has no interest in any of this. She's not a Star Wars fan, which, we did marriage counseling for several years to get past this fact, but we worked it out. And I think we're gonna stick together, even though she doesn't like Star Wars. Which, if she's watching, I love you, honey. It's a joke. Please don't be too mad at the joke. So yeah, I hope that I presented not only a critique, but also my wife watched, I'm sorry, I distract myself a lot. My wife watched it, and she got to the end, and she's like, so is this guy like a 5th grader or something? Like, how does he not know these really standard movie norms? Like, no offense to you, honey, but if you know this stuff, how does someone who gets paid to do it professionally miss this stuff? I'm like, that is the $1 million question, honey. How he just completely missed all this stuff. But I do hope I'm not being too negative, and I do hope that y'all enjoy a more film critique and less of a here's all the plot hole stuff. Although there will be one video that kind of talks about that. But it's going to be more on a film level, I promise. It's not going to be as nitpicky as other stuff. It's still going to be just here's the film level stuff to avoid. So with that out of the way, Jar Jar or Sci-Fi, or let me roll back up here, make sure I'm in the right spot. DJ Odyssey joined us. He said, "I like Jar Jar." Oh yes, I've been lurking, lol. I'm so glad you've been joining us, DJ. Sci-Fi is saying Jar Jar was total Orville material. Huh. Yeah, I could see him hang out with Yaphith. I could see kind of that same sort of dynamic going on. John is saying, I remember being so excited waiting for episode 1 to come out, but then episode 1 came out. And we got a new word. It's called anticipantment. The point at which you are so excited for something only to see it and it becomes disappointment. Anticipantment. So, there's that. And, it was a decent enough story. I think it failed on 2 levels. One, it tried to do too much world building within the movie. We kept hearing about all these cool adventures that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Anakin were doing, but we never got to see any of the cool adventures that they were doing. The whole thing was devoted just to building up this world of Star Wars, which was interesting to see happening on screen, but it was also unnecessary. For those who were cared about the larger universe, we already had all the previously canon, works in the books, which are just... I made a mistake. The first Star Wars books I read was the Yuuzhan Vong invasion, which was still a good story, but it wasn't their best overall arc. So, we already had this huge, expansive universe with the books and the comics and the games, and the fact that he took that much time to world build instead of making a true plot for each movie hurt it. And then the second thing that hurt it was that he dumbed it down. And we saw this happening in episode 6 with the Ewoks. And I know they were supposed to be more Wookiees, and allegedly there were budgetary constraints and he went for Ewoks. But I think at that point he really was making this more of a young kid franchise instead of the teen to adult franchise. And I think he doubled down on that in episode 1. Only to kind of pull a quick 180 in episode 2 with the slaughtering of all the sand people, and then tripling down on it in episode 3. And so it kind of suffered from not knowing who its target audience was and trying to do too much world building. Which, if you look up another YouTube video called "What If It Didn't Suck?" Someone did the Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3. And it is great. It's just personal headcanon. I love that take on it, and it's well worth the watch. What if it didn't suck? Star Wars, or what if it was good? I forget which one he uses, but it was one of those 2 phrasings, and they're worth a watch. They're fun little thought exercises. Let's see. Anticipantment, and Sci-Fi Nation is saying, "Greetings, DJ Odyssey. I still have that unicorn suit on back order for you," and DJ's going, "No!" Or excuse me, we're Star Wars talk here. "No!" And John is saying, "Hey, DJ." And DJ is saying hi to John. And Sci-Fi Nation says, "DJ, I need your P.O. box so I can send it." So DJ, if John actually did send you the unicorn suit, would you hang up the bunny suit and give the unicorn a try? John is saying AT's negative reviews are hilarious. However, from a lot of other people, the negativity is too much. I think people get on a negativity overload. Let me read the next thing and pick up here, because I want to talk more about that. So we're going to read Apocrypha. And one of the other things about the game is that each of the different levels have focused on different kind of culture. So first we did Greek philosophy, then we did Egyptian, and now we've been looking at Middle Ages Christian philosophy. And this is, I've never read the Apocrypha. Someone else can tell me if this is accurate quoting from the Apocrypha. But allegedly this is something that the angel Uriel did. So now Uriel pointed his sword to the tree of life, which grew in the heart of dead Jerusalem. Behold, the tree grows still, though the city is dead. Within all that is mortal, there is the seed of immortality, for it is an immortal that fashioned it from chaos and void. Being a humble man of little wisdom, I asked, Great Uriel, We are not allowed to eat from the tree of life. How may we then be saved? And Uriel commanded me to stretch out my hand, and he gave me his fiery sword, which burned my hand. And he said, Only by sacrifice can you free the world from the dominion of sin. With a prayer on my lips, I fell upon Uriel's sword, and it pierced my heart, and truly, on my body the stigmata of the Lord appeared, dripping blood that was not my blood onto the ground. And the 7 heads of the dragon that were crowned in black clouds receded, and light fell upon the earth, and Jerusalem was born again. Thus the angels departed, having delivered their message, and I woke in the fields of our fair land. And then, Invention of Borders. Excerpt from The Invention of Borders by Fatma Wynne. What today's nationalists and neo-segregationists fail to understand, Kwame said, is that the basis of every human culture is, and always has been, synthesis. No civilization is authentic, monolithic, pure. The exact opposite is true. Look at your average Western nation. Its numbers are Arabic, its alphabet Latin, its religion Levantine, its philosophy Greek. Need I continue? And each of these examples can itself be broken down further. The Romans got their alphabet from the Greeks, who created theirs by stealing from the Phoenicians, and so on. Our myths and religions, too, are syncretic, sharing, repeating, and adapting to a large variety of elements to suit their needs. Even the language of our creation, the DNA itself, is impure, defined by a history of amalgamation. I know I'm not saying that word right. Not only between nations, but even between different human species. And there we are for that. Okay, so overloaded on the negativity. I kind of agree with you. Pardon me. I think what happens is, so for example, we were talking about geeks and gamers the other day. So this is the last sigil I need. So we got to figure this one out. Geeks and gamers. I have no problem with Jeremy. I think he's an interesting channel. So I don't want you to get the wrong idea with what I'm about to say. It's just, for whatever reason, I can't do the negativity of Jeremy. But, paradoxically, I love the negativity of Nerdrotic. Like, he talks just as much rumor mill. He talks just as much negativity, but the way he does it is somehow funny and humorous and lighthearted to me, in a way that Geeks and Gamer isn't. And I have no idea why. I could not for the life of me begin to tell you, oh yeah, this is clearly the difference. This is why I like one and dislike the other. But for whatever reason, it's just it just is that way. Oh, okay, here we go. No, wait. I have to have the fans on for that to work. Crap. And so I do think that what happens, perhaps, is that people come off of the negativity of someone who's like really and truly just, slamming into Star Wars. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about in Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, excuse me. But I think a lot of people also go overly critical, just for the views maybe. And you come off as something like that, and then you go to the lighthearted, fun stuff that Michael's doing, and you've already got into your mind that it's bad. And as a result, you end up missing out on what would have been a fun channel. That said, I think it's fun that he's starting to talk about more of the the Star Trek stuff again, like true geeky stuff. Like that's exciting to me that we're getting back to that. Can I jump up onto no? Okay, so I had an idea here that isn't panning out. I was thinking that if I could get the second companion cube over here, then I could somehow get the light up this tall, but I realized suddenly that I'm still chasing my tail on this. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can come over here. Either I'm onto something or I'm chasing my tail again. We're going to find out in just a minute here. Let's get this guy out of the way. I need one more box. Let's see. Sci-Fi is saying, not a Star Wars J fan. Doubt I'll do any Star Wars stuff anytime soon. Well, that's cool. I think there's just so much to fandom that we can talk about that there can be a million channels and each one can be quite interesting and unique. Rats. I am just chasing my tail. So what I was thinking is if I came over here, I could end up connecting to the fan from right here. But nope, can't do that. Man, I am really chasing my tail here. Let's see. If I got all the way over here, that wouldn't work. We're gonna hold on a second. Let me catch up on the chat because I'm stuck on this level right now. Sci-Fi Nation is saying this game is awesome, and DJ saying howdy life with Matthew. Howdy DJ. So glad you're here. And Sci-Fi got a quarter yet? I finally did get a quarter, and we killed Milton the last round, so I don't even need the quarter now. And Sci-Fi Nation saying life with Matthew likes to flip SD cards. It's true, which I still also have my SD card, which I was going to say it's just the connector, but I actually do have, what is this guy? An 8 gig SD card inside there. And Sci-Fi saying, so glad Mrs. Sci-Fi is a Trek nerd. You know, I have gotten my wife onto a lot more sci-fi than she ever would have thought she would have been into before she met me. Her favorite has been Eureka and Warehouse 13 so far, which is kind of, I guess it's lighter sci-fi. There's 2 Sci-Fi Channel shows. What am I missing here? But she liked those a lot, and they have more human interaction, which is why I think she'd really like Farscape. Let's see. John is saying, I think the prequels had good stories, but in many cases, poor execution. Yeah, exactly. That is just like I showed my 5-year-old episode 4, and he is a diehard Star Wars fan now. Everything about it sang to him. Like I skipped over the dismemberment, and I skipped over another scene. What was it? Oh, the corpses of Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen. Those weren't exactly the most kid-friendly of moments. But beyond that, he loved it all. It's his most favorite movie now. He begs to get to watch it all the time. And then he also, he made his own theories. As we were watching it, he's like, Dad, I bet Luke Skywalker is Obi-Wan Kenobi's son. I bet that's his dad. I'm like, we'll see. You'll find out. That's a great theory. Lots of stuff going on to support that. And, he was legitimately crushed when Obi-Wan died. Which, spoilers, if you haven't seen New Hope yet, big spoiler there. But he was crushed because he was really invested in it. And then I showed him episode 1, and he's like, can we watch episode 4 again? They're just sitting there talking. So I think you're right that there were so many good story ideas, but then failed execution on it. And it would have been better novels. Yeah, because then you would have had more time to flesh it out. You could have included all the talking stuff and then also included everything else that goes into just a modern movie. Dang it. I'm going to have to look up I don't want to look up cheats. I really want to solve this organically. What am I missing here, guys? And And John is saying, among the books, Timothy Zahn's trilogy is still the best. Which one is that? Like I said, the first one I read was were the people who came, the alien race that came from outside our galaxy, or the Star Wars galaxy, I should say, rather. And they were isolated from the Force. Like, for some reason, the Force just did not work on them at all. Until, I think it was Jace or his brother was like tortured by them for a long time, and he finally figured out how to connect the Force to them. And DJ Odyssey is saying, not going to happen, not wearing a unicorn suit. Besides, he never asked what size I needed. Oh, very true. As for the suits, there are 5 now, and I use them per request for vids. And then, Life with Matthew, can I please fail to dodge a wrench? Can I please fail to dodge a wrench? Sci-Fi, I'm not following you on that one. And then DJ is saying, and then he says, DJ, you will wear the suit. Oh yes, you will wear it. And Gary keeps it real. He does, and somehow he has a nature where even when he's being really negative about something, he does it in a good-natured, light-hearted kind of fashion, if that makes sense. Oh, me. Send that over there. This will help me get further. Okay, I think we just got onto the winning path here, guys. Or not? How can I get... Well, we'll come back. And then John is saying it's a fine line to walk between negative and wit. It really is. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, John, it's a fine line between love and hate. And DJ is saying this would make a great Zelda place. Oh my goodness. And Sci-Fi is talking about Zelda 64. Yes, so surely I'm not the only one who remembers, we'll say with fondness. Sure, why not? Who remembers with fondness the Water Temple from Zelda 64. That temple took me so stinking long as a kid to beat the first time. And even to this day, it takes me way longer than it should to get past that level. Okay, so now I've gotten that set up, but wait. So I've gotten further, but how can I... Crap. I need to keep this gateway open, but as soon as I take either one of these, it's going to shut down and the force field will go right back up. I'm missing a way back over. Oh, and I thought I was onto something there. And Sci-Fi is saying, Samus was a woman. Oh no! Yeah, no one cared. None of us cared that Samus was a woman. And John's saying trade disputes and Jar Jar in the same movie. It was odd. And Timothy Thon wrote the Thrawn books. Oh, okay. I have not read them, but I have only heard good things about the Thrawn novels. And Sci-Fi is saying mod wrench. You know, I don't remember how to do it. Because you're right, you are here all the time. I need to get some mod wrenches in here. And I honestly don't remember how to. Because for the whole time I do this now, I am 100% using just Streamlabs OBS. Because I try to keep as few things open on my computer as possible. No. Oh. I made a mistake. We'll try this again. And DJ's saying, don't wrench them. He will mute me until I say I'll wear the unicorn suit. Well, now I have reasons to go both ways on modding him or not modding him. No, it's just I use Streamlabs for everything. I never go onto the YouTube Live Studio because using Streamlabs, over on the right-hand side here, it shows my live chat. Like, I don't even have to have YouTube open. And then it also, just with a single click, I can get things up and running. And so it's a lot more convenient for me, at least. Okay, let's try this once more with feeling. Okay, so I need to launch this connector over, but connectors don't launch without being on a cube. As soon as I just put this on there, it's gonna push off. Oh, but I can hold it. Dang it. I swear I'm not a complete idiot when it comes to solving puzzles. I'm really not. It's just something about this puzzle. I'm missing all the obvious solutions. But here we go. We are finally progressing. Let's see what happens when I get stuck behind this next one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now, let's see if we can't get at least one of these connectors out of here. Nope. We'll try this a different way. There we go. There we go. Now I can disconnect this guy. And I'm not confident about what I've actually accomplished with this. I still only have one stinking connector out here to use. I mean, I have a different light source. That's nice. But as soon as if I take this connector, I'm just going to be trapped in here. Oh man. I think I don't think I can ever open this one up again. Well, I guess I could jump back over there. Or not. Because as soon as I take my cube off, my companion cube, that light's going to go down. Oh man. I 100% just soft locked my way out of this level. Because if I were to take either one of these guys, so I could launch myself over with the connector, then I would not be able to use that blue light. And as soon as I pick up this guy, yep, I'm trapped in here. Yep. I was close. We're getting closer. Let's see. John is saying, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and Last Command. I highly recommend checking them out if you haven't. And then Sci-Fi is saying, DJ Odyssey, the thrill comes from wondering when. DJ saying, I love Heir to the Empire. And Sci-Fi is saying, watch Mars on Netflix sometime. Excellent show. Not kid-friendly, though. Hardly no cursing, just realistic compared to The Expanse. Okay. And then got a mirror. Yeah, I really do need, like... This is clearly, absolutely the last puzzle, at least normal puzzle of the game. They are pulling no punches on this one. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I was one simple mistake away from unlocking everything we needed. So let's try this again. I think we'll get it this time. So I actually just heard, and I heard it on a Gary stream. Point of fact, that there is required reading before seeing the next Star Wars movie. It's a book called what did they say its name was? Like Resistance Rising, I think it is, and it's supposed to explain how on Earth we go from 8 people on the Millennium Falcon to a resistance built up. Like, where do they all come from? Which is a pretty important question to answer, I should say. Okay, so I take this connector. That technically works, but that's not right. And I do want to read it because I'm honestly I'm interested in how they I'm interested in how it's supposed to work because I don't want to review the movie, watch it, and be like, you know, they don't answer the question of how they go from point A to point B, which I know they're not going to. Like, I know that up front. Okay, as soon as I take that connector, then I can bring it out here. And what can I do with a connector being right there? Well, okay. Okay, I just quit too soon. That's what the problem was. So I want to give it a fair shake. Like, I really like good movies, you know, and I don't want to just be harping on it for no reason. Let's see. So on the one hand, I want to buy the novel, read it, see what it's like, and on the other hand, I would rather not spend $20 to get something that should have been answered in the movie. You know, like I don't like it when a movie expects you to have read a bunch of extraneous stuff just to answer what should have already been in the movie. Let's see. All right. We finally got the connector in the air. Now what? Now shenanigans. That's what's what. I don't think I can ever get that connector out of here. Like, I think a connector always has to stay in there. Oh, dash doll. I see how we could have done this. So let's see. I'm going to need him and him. Basically, I need to run around with this guy and make as many connections as I possibly can, because that's what they want. It doesn't even matter if I need it right now. If there's a keyhole, I'm connecting it. But it would have been smarter if I connected it once I had everything set up. Don't judge me. We're almost done here. I don't care. You can judge me. Okay, well, I can't bend through corners, so I'm not going to be able to get that one. But I think I've connected everything up I need connected. All right. Not all right. What did I mess up there? try this again. I guess I hadn't selected the light beam source. That's what the problem was. Okay. Now I can take the connector. Everyone is lit up and happy. Well, that's a sentence right there. Let's see. Connect him. And if I'm not mistaken, but I am mistaken, I thought for sure that guy would be tall enough to let me get this connector out. Like, I thought that blue beam would come right into this connector. So canon involves books. Sci-fi is saying, so canon involves books. If only Trek was so forward-thinking, Lorehead would be out of a job. Okay, so I legit did not know that, I hope I didn't just lock myself there. I legitimately did not know that none of the Star Trek books were canon. Like, not even one. I think that I take that back. There might be 3 that are canon. There we go. Oh, that's good. But I was really shocked to find out that most of them were 100% not canon. And I think that is disappointing because there are so many.
It is done. You have overcome each trial that I set before you. You have shown faith and wisdom and perseverance. Therefore, I judge you worthy, and I say unto you, come to the gates of eternity, where you shall be granted everlasting life.
Okay, guys. Here is the rub. I can walk through the glowing gate, and we'll see how one of the ending goes. But I don't know, like, I know there's a way to restore from backup, but I've never done it. So what we're going to do, we're going to pause here real quick. I'm sorry, you're going to see a black screen. You'll still see me, but you won't see any of this pretty stuff when I minimize it. I want to figure out how to make a backup so that we can pick up right here after seeing the ending and go see the other ending where we solve a couple more puzzles, some bonus level puzzles, and go up to the top of the tower. Because this took a really long time, and I don't want to play the whole game over when we could do something else. So we're going to do this real quick. I meant to look this up earlier, but I didn't, so here we are. So Talos Principal, restore from backup. And real quick, I'll read some chats while I'm pulling this up also. John is saying, that's one of my problems I had with The Force Awakens. I had to read books to understand what the political state of the galaxy was supposed to be. I didn't even know there were books that were supposed to be required reading. Was it just like after the fact they threw in a bunch of books, or was it like a prequel to the movie? And then Sci-Fi is saying, fans decided what the whole stick about any only on-screen is, or fans decided that the whole something about only on-screen is canon, not show creators. I think for Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry was very, very adamant that books were not canon. And then after his death, people just continued to go along with it. Which, like I said, I didn't know that until very recently, so maybe I was reading the article wrong. And John DeMarco is saying, such as, why is the Ragtag Resistance fighting the First Order instead of the New Republic? Yeah, that is a huge question. Did the book actually answer that, John? So, let's see. Restoring older backways. Is there some way to restore back up on an older version than what lists? I want to go back and make a deal. Explore lost path. Oh, that stinks. Everyone's saying that there's no way to go back in time. Like, you have to play the whole game again. That stinks. I'm going to read a couple more because I don't want that to be true. I want us to be able to see both endings here. It can start a new game. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we are only going to get to see apparently one of these endings. The question is, which one are we going to see? Do we press on, go up the tower, solve the last remaining the puzzles, and see what happens if we were to ascend the tower that we were explicitly told never to go into? Or do we go through the glowing door in front of us and enter into Elohim's abode? Which one do y'all want? Enter the door. Yeah, DJ is saying play the Oracle time, or do we go to the tower? Door, tower. That is our dilemma. And then Sci-Fi saying, "Hey, wait, this is Planet Forbidden. Break out the great sword. You'll be all right." And I'm being asked where the Master Sword is now. Sci-Fi is saying there's a Khan trilogy that takes place between Space Seed and the Wrath of Khan. Make a secondary save file on an external drive. So everything is saved to the Steam cloud. That's the rub here. That's why we can't restore from a local save. And let's see. I'm seeing 2 votes for climb the tower. Yeah, we're gonna climb the tower. That's fun. I think that is the true ending. To be fair, let's go climb us a tower. Let's see. He's gonna get pissed when we do this. And let's see, John was saying, yes, there's a book written after The Force Awakens that takes place before called Bloodlines, I think. Okay, so I can accept a book that, what's he say? The designer has granted me domain over the lands I have traveled, and with his sigils of powers, I will make this whole world my domain, signed one with faith. Hey, he promised me the same world as well. What a joker. Signed Assassin 42. I don't think time obeys too many rules here, or so many rules we can't imagine. Clearly, I'm writing this message after you all wrote yours, but maybe we're all here at the same time as well. That message just materialized on the wall. Okay, I read those. Okay, so I fully accept. I don't like it, but I fully accept if I were to, or if someone were to make a movie and they decided that as part of their movie they had a book that came out beforehand to kind of set up the world more, I think that'd be bad writing from the movie standpoint. I think that you either need to have the guts to just say we're going to have multiple movies and here's part 1, or you need to condense your story and do a better job writing. So I'm stopping at 4 because I solved this puzzle already, but I didn't read the computer terminal. I just unlocked 5 because I was hoping that I could do the Tetramino puzzle offline without you guys sitting here. But I couldn't. So we are going to read about Athena 16. 16, the second awakening in Error. The fires burned here, but beyond the incense she could smell the cold wind from the kingdom of Artemis, where Error... But I am not Hephaestus, you see, for though I wield his hammer and know the secrets of his forge, I am not lame, and neither am I a god. Who are you then, they said. So yeah, this game, in case you haven't picked up, is extremely philosophical. And so the blessed messenger revealed unto me the bones of New Jerusalem, slumbering in the dust that was the body of Adam, awaiting the day of resurrection. And lo and behold, within the dust was concealed a holy fire. And the fire, parentheses, the sacred numbers, which the one you seek is password 247. This was a funny one. They are giving you the access code to the next level. And they hid them within a couple of these messages like that. And then Sci-Fi Nation is saying, "A climbing we will go, a climbing we will go, hi ho the Mario, a climbing we will go." And so many Greek philosophers. It really has been a lot of philosophy. I don't know if anyone's ever going to read this, but if you do, if we succeeded, then I want you to know that Alexandra stayed until the last moment. "I'm leaving, too tired, too broken, desperate for a few moments of peace with my remaining loved ones. But she's still there, and she won't give up. And yes, there are thousands like her all over the world, giving everything they have because they believe in humanity. But she's the one that I know, as a real person, as a colleague, a friend. I know that she likes peanut butter ice cream, or peanut ice cream, and hates strawberry. That her favorite band is Pink Floyd, that her favorite poet is Blake, that her favorite TV show is Futurama." And then it errors out, but I'm presuming says that she studied at Cornwall, that her dad's name was Carl, that her mom's name was, and it errors out. "I don't know if I should be ashamed for leaving, but I know that I'm proud of her. She was the best of us. Remember her." Okay. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, "Very nice singing voice." Well, thank you. I have a theory. And my theory is that Joe is an operatic singer, and he is such a good singer that he can sing bad. Because I don't know if you know this, but it is like I can sing bad, but I can't sing bad on purpose. It takes extreme amount of skill to sing bad on purpose, and I think Joe has that skill, and he's fooling us all.
There are flaws in the system. I think sometimes it accesses the wrong databases, pulls random data. I don't know. I don't know how bad it is. It all seems to be stable, but I can't tell what kind of impact this is going to have on the process, and I just don't have the strength to go over all of the code again. I just don't want it all to be for nothing. I spent my time here. I didn't visit my parents. I didn't see my friends. I did nothing but work. And I'm so scared that it didn't mean anything. That I just wasted it all because I thought we could... we could save the world.
I apologize in advance, guys, that you're going to have to see me work through all this. This is the largest Tetramino puzzle they have given us to date. Yay! Let's see, I need to create a Squarespace somewhere. Just like this week's sponsor, Squarespace. It is amazing how many people are legit sponsored by like the exact same company over and over again. Like you would think eventually there'd be some variety, but it seems like everyone is either Squarespace or Skillshare, I think is the other one that I always see. And I don't know if maybe I'm just watching like one type of video where that's where everyone gets their like everyone who does this kind of video ends up being sponsored by them. Or if legit, just like everyone is sponsored by Squarespace and Skillshare. Well, I have 4 squares. Close. See, that's not going to work. I can see that shape already and it's no good. Well, we'll try it. Ah. I don't think I'm supposed to have all the squares up there. Oh, so close. So close. I don't like that. I'm sorry, guys. I know this is probably about as interesting as paint drying. Let's see. John is saying you're probably right about Bird. DJ Odyssey saying I can sing bad or sober, just not Laura Bird bad. And Sci-Fi saying a couple beers and here's Johnny Cash. Sober singing is not my strong suit. I could probably sound like Frank doing Freddy. Tetris, easy style, 80s McDonald's toy, spatial recognition. So it is honestly amazing how many Tetris clones there have been over the years and how they managed to keep making the same game interesting and fresh and unique. Because you would think eventually, like, we'd hit our point, like, yep, that's it. You can't make this game any better than it is. But they keep somehow finding a way to bring it back and keep it fresh. That's pretty amazing. There's no way that's the right spot for that. I do have 4 of these things. What if I were to go completely crazy? Just say all the squares, y'all go right there. Let's try and build off that. Like, I remember growing up playing back on the NES, what was it? One, Dr. Mario. I mean, that's kind of a low-hanging fruit for this is a Tetris clone. But also, there's a game called Yoshi's Cookie, which, you know, it wasn't a direct knockoff, but it was a similar one, like real similar. Like obviously inspired by Tetris, in which instead of having to connect up these Tetramino pieces, you had to line up cookie pieces, you know, pretty much exactly what the game said it would be. See, I knew there was no way all those squares were supposed to be together. I've just created a never-ending loop of squares for myself. Every spot could use a square. Here's a square. There's a square. You get a square. And you get a square. Okay. Let's say squares at the corners. Ugh, just like high school all over again. All the squares go to the corners. Closer. Closer. I'd like to think I'm getting closer. Okay, tell you what, guys. I'm gonna have to stretch this into a second stream. We were that close, but I don't want y'all to have to sit here for the next however long it takes me to solve this Tetramino puzzle. So, I happened to unlock one of the other secret areas for the game. They call it secret areas. It's where the stars go. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go solve the puzzles in that area, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the night. And then, offline, I will solve this puzzle and hopefully be able to solve a second Tetramino puzzle for the last star area. And then hopefully that number 6 there, which is the last level to the tower, will successfully get us
Where have you been, child? Remember, the great tower is not for you. Do not give up the hope of eternal life for the hollow promises of curiosity.
will hopefully get us to the point that we can... hopefully 6 isn't too hard. That's what I was trying to say. Because 6 is only... was that 9 pieces, and they don't look like they're going to interact in too hard of a way, but 5, wow, 4 squares is harder than I imagined it would be. So here we go. World B, Secret World, or Star World. Orangutan. A Medical Journey has published a startling new theory about last year's sudden shocking extinction of the orangutan. See our award-winning video of the last orangutan at this link. They suggest that the virus responsible was not a new mutation but a very old one. An ancient virus buried until now in high-latitude permafrost. Set free by global warming. Oh, I had no idea this is where the game was going to go. The virus may have plagued the ancestors of the modern great apes more than 100,000 years ago. This game has just gone to a whole new level of greatness. I love this. Several important questions remain unanswered, including error. More importantly, the study suggests that based on samples taken from locations around the globe, the incubation period may... if you like this article, you may also like How to Really Avoid Heart Attacks. You won't believe what's living under this rock. Top 10 amazing science facts. Oscar Snips Slips explained by physics. How to easily beat any infection. And Blake or usernames that email. From George Jameson to Ian mailing list. It's working now. Each iteration is assigned its own unique name drawn randomly from the database. At the moment, that's a database of online gaming handles, which does sound a bit odd, but I honestly don't think we should spend more time on this. We have unique identifiers, so we can afford. So we're fine. More than that is a luxury we can't afford. If we should happen to have everything else finished on time, I'll go back and generate a new database with more appropriate names. Right now, it just can't be a priority. Signed, George. Blake Archive. The ancient poets animated all sensible objects with gods or geniuses, calling them by names and adoring them with properties of wood, rivers, mountains, lakes, cities, nations, and whatever their enlarged and numerous senses could perceive. And particularly, they studied the genius of each city and country. Genus or genius? Genus, excuse me. Not genius, genus. Placing it under its mental deity. Till a system was formed which some took advantage of and enslaved the vulgar by attempting to realize or abstract the mental deities from their objects. Thus began priesthood, choosing forms of worship from poetic tales, and at length they pronounced that the gods had ordered such things. Thus men forgot that all deities reside in the human breast. Well, it's an interesting stance, but it kind of ignores the fact there was a priestly religion long before the ancient poets. And then let's see what this image is. That's the tower we've been going up. Okay. Let's see. DJ saying it's been fun. We'll be back again. Just have to head to bed. more Green Acres tomorrow, night all. And Sci-Fi saying, good night, DJ. Yeah, good night, DJ. If you're still around, thanks for joining us on the stream. And John saying, of course, global warming will kill us all. Catch you later, DJ. And Sci-Fi is saying, Life with Matthew would love to talk to you outside Putu Bub. Yeah, it'd be fun. So yeah, I did not see this coming. I love it. One, I have several issues with the theory of global warming. Great scientific ones, they're real fun. But two, the game has hinted a couple times at like, oh, we've done this to ourselves. I'm like, okay, what sort of what are they going to be going with here? What's going to be the takeaway for how humanity did this to themselves? And the fact that it was global warming with a virus hidden in the ice caps was just, I wasn't seeing it, and it cracks me up. I never thought I would figure out how to get to this place. It's beautiful, but somehow sad. Oop, too far. Can't go that way. So yeah, global warming. Fascinating subject. Mainly because the bulwark of the proof for global warming comes from the ice core samples taken from Antarctica, specifically the core samples taken from Drill Site C in Antarctica. And we talked about this on one of the previous streams about how the salt clock is not a reliable indicator for the age of the Earth. And by the same token, neither is radiometric or not radiometric, carbon dating or, radiometric dating. Because they all fail the same 4 basic criteria. See, we cannot achieve the goal of process on our own. We must find a way to help each other. Signed, Barachio? Namely that you don't know the starting amount, you can't control, or you cannot, merry-go-round. You cannot know the rate of depletion. Like, I can know that in a controlled environment, one radioactive isotope will break down at a controlled rate to another radioactive isotope. I can know that. That's certainly true. But what you can't know is that that number remains constant. In fact, you can 100% know that number does not remain constant. That we have proven that solar activity increases and decreases the rate of decay of these isotopes, as well as things like acid rain. So too much volcanic activity in the area will result in higher than expected decay rates. So you absolutely cannot assume a consistent rate of decay. But more importantly, you cannot assume a consistent rate of or that more of the isotope isn't added, because we actually see that this sort of we can actually see that these isotopes can leach back into the fossil record. So the point being, these core samples actually suffer from the same issues, that we have made the assumption that snowfall occurs at the exact same rate no matter what, and that any variation we see on that is only a result of global warming. And that's a major issue, because inside its own theory, it is assuming, it's self-validating. And that's really bad science, because like how to word this. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once, and so I'm not saying either one very successfully. But the basic concept is, we know that global warming is true because we've taken core samples, and the core samples show, or would always have, the exact same rate of snowfall. And the fact that we're seeing different snowfall right now is only as a result of global warming. Like, that is a very bad circular argument that, I would say I'm surprised people buy into. But, honestly, there are basically two types of people when it comes to global warming. I think there are those who are deliberately misleading the facts. And I think there are just those who are, they have good intentions. They don't understand all the science going behind it, but they have good intentions. Doesn't change the fact they're wrong, but at least they aren't deliberately lying to people. Like, I gotta grant them that. So all the data is taken from this one drill site in Antarctica, the Site C. And one, they've assumed that, man, I know I need to get to that blue. Oh, right, I have this guy. So yeah, they've assumed that not only a consistent rate of snowfall, but also that the carbon trapped within the snow, or carbon dioxide more accurately, follows appropriate geological time periods when there's no evidence for that. Like it's a complete guess, and frankly a bad guess. I don't feel like this is where this should go, but we'll give it a try. And one of the reasons we absolutely can know this beyond any shadow of a doubt is there was an interesting study done in which they were looking at core samples in Greenland, I believe it was. And they did not support the same things that the core samples from Antarctica did. And they poo-pooed away the core samples from Antarctica, saying that, well, you can't trust those because there is a volcanic eruption nearby. And everyone knows you can't trust ice core samples because one volcanic eruption nearby will destroy your data. I'm like, wait, you in one breath you're saying we can trust the Antarctica core samples, and in the other breath you're saying we cannot trust the Greenland core samples. And it's sad to me that is the bread and butter of what modern global warming is built on. Okay, let's see if I can't get myself back out of this situation. And like, I'm not saying we can't destroy the environment. I mean, we can obviously cause damage to our own environment. But what I definitely am saying is that the data for there being a, let's see, I can get it from here. Okay, we'll give that a shot. The data for there being an impact like us causing global climate change, the science just isn't there. And I think, yeah, sure, go ahead and research it, but like, be honest about your research. Don't go fudging the numbers just because you want science grants. One of my buddies has a saying that the number one cause of global warming is federal grant money. He's a funny guy. Let's see. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, Life with Matthew, I'm a progressive independent, not a foil hat wearing SJW. Should be an interesting conversation. Yeah, so the closest I can get to defining me with quick labels would be I am a conservative libertarian, I guess would be kind of the framework I guess I self-define myself as, which, you know, whatever that really means. And then we had snow before Turkey Day. That isn't right. John saying, I studied meteorology in college and global warming was a big topic. Even if we are taking increasing temps as a given, we can't prove what's causing it. Is it caused by humans or is it a natural climate cycle? I lean toward the latter. Reliable climate research doesn't go back very far anyway. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, this hasn't happened in 40 of my 43 years. Greenland is melting. So much for salinity. And John is saying I'm essentially apolitical. And, you know, that's, like I said, that'd be the quick and dirty labels I give myself. But yeah, I do tend to lean, I tend to vote Republican in that, well, honestly, the last time around I didn't vote Republican or Democrat. I voted independent. But of the times I have voted for a political system, I ended up voting Republican only because there were a few very key issues that are non-negotiable for me. I would rather see our nation crumble into decline than have these key issues. And one of them is the life of the unborn. I am a very, very strong stances on that. And, I'd rather our nation be known for caring for uh, the unborn and caring for those who need our help the most than I necessarily care about um, how well our economy is doing. Let's see. I know that's not going to be the spot I want this guy in. Yeah, see, every time I'm going to need the connector during recording. Let's see. If I were a rich man. Well, let's start off with this. Let's see what we can't accomplish by having him here for a little bit. I'm going to restart my timer because I don't want to wait that long. Okay, we'll give that a minute because I have a feeling that's not right, but I think if we zigzag our beam, then we should be able to get it open. We'll see. And then Sci-Fi saying, I don't care how you vote. Let's just have an honest conversation. And I personally hate politicking. I do, however, love and respect my friends. And, that is a perfect mindset to have, in my opinion, Sci-Fi Nation. Because I do, like I said, I give myself these shortcut labels because I know that's what people are looking for. They want to do a quick and dirty, what box do you fit in? But, I definitely agree that, and this was something that I think it was Washington, maybe Jackson or Andrews, I forget. But I want to say it was Washington, was very concerned about this. He said, do not form a two-party system. Like, that will be the death of our nation, a two-party system. And I think he was spot on the money because his biggest concern was that if we had a two-party system, what would end up happening is that rather than caring about the issues, people would just start saying, well, you belong in this box, you belong in this box. And we'd lose sight of the important issues. Ah, darn, I knew that wasn't going to work. I had hoped, though. Let's see. Let's try leaving that there this time. And so I do think that far too often people, rather than caring about your actual stances, they just want to be able to really shortcut you and saying, well, you belong to this party, therefore everything you say I can disregard offhand. You're wrong, just because you belong to this party or this specific political system. I think that's a shame. Oh, surely it's not that easy. I don't think that's making it. Well, let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Man, they are really not giving me room to work in this level. I know I'm going to have that aha moment eventually, but I hope it comes sooner rather than later. And then Sci-Fi Nation saying, friend is a very hard moniker for me to give to people. I get that. Oh, you know what? Maybe if I do it like this, then when one is, there we go. Aha! The aha moment came. Nice. Wait, was that a... No, it was not. I thought we had a QR code back there. Okay, so this will be the last puzzle we do for the night. Because after this one, I will need to figure out how to get the Tetramino puzzles solved for the next stuff. Let's see, Cat's Cradle. I assume that means we're going to be crisscrossing streams a whole lot. Oh yeah, I've been going for almost 2 hours. It's time to get this wrapped up. Okay, I see a force field there, and I have to wonder why. Like, clearly they thought that was an important spot to have a force field. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna need red and blue. Ouch. That's gonna be a hard sell right there. Yeah. Okay, I will need... Oh wait, I don't need that guy. Oh. I see. Aren't they a little tricky thing? So let's see where I can actually get in this level. That should give me some hints about how to solve it. I'm gonna need to get back there, which that looks like the only thing in the room is a third connector and the red light. The red light will open up this portal, which I presume is for red. You know, hopefully that's a safe assumption right there. I'm going to make the assumption that I do not want that blue light, as a matter of fact. I changed my mind. I want to be able to get out of here. Okay, so without that blue light, I cannot have the red light going. Alright, alright. Let's start solving this, because I think I'm beginning to see how they want me to go. All I have to do is remember what I did with my other connector. And then Sci-Fi Nation. Okay. So let me go ahead and grab that real quick, and then I am going to go ahead and delete your email there, Sci-Fi. Okay, I got it in my Notepad++ because I don't want things scraping this and you getting a bunch of spam emails. So let me. I don't know how to do it. It's probably because I'm not in YouTube Live. Clearly, I need to figure out how to actually do things on YouTube. There we go. And there we go. Sci-Fi and John, if you are both still here, you should have just gotten some wrenches. If I did that right. Okay. Very good. Let's get back to the game. There's my other connector. I knew I had a second one. Okay, so we'll use this connector. Really only to do that. But I need it further out. Are you kidding me? Okay, what am I missing here? I was thinking wrong is the totality of that sentence. I was thinking that if I had this connector here, I could get the red beam over here and turn off this blue light. Because I can connect the blue light from over yonder like that. So I'm close. Close but no cigar. Let's see, I haven't left any connectors lying around. I'm pretty sure we can't get to, yeah, those connectors are there, but you can't actually pick them up. And John and Sci-Fi are saying, thank you for the wrench. Well, guys, thank you for hanging out with me all the time. I really appreciate you watching this stream. You know, it's just a fun thing to do. When I started playing this, and I saw how interactive it was, I knew this would be a fun thing to do while we hang out and chatted. Because, you know, I enjoy the city lights and the... what was the game Joe was playing that you can build ships and... Or not ships. Well, that's Space Engineers, but I'm talking about the one where he had to build like these siege weapons and bust down doors and stuff. Was it just called Besiege or Siege? I like those a lot. But like I really enjoy the fact that we get to more directly interact. Like you guys are in more control over how the game turns out than I'd be over, you know, a platform game. It could certainly be fun, but there's less direct interaction. And this one has been really fun in that it's created a lot of good topics just to sit and chat about. Like that was something I was not expecting, but have just thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, I'm clearly overthinking or underthinking something here. Let's see. I feel like I don't even know what that's supposed to do. Like, seriously. Like, yeah, that would get the red one going. And yeah, I could bring the blue one real close by to it. But without that blue beam, so that's what I need first. I need a secondary blue beam. Of course, now I need to block that red beam somehow. No, wait. I'm thinking about this all wrong. I need the red beam. Ah. I mean, if I take... let's see, Sci-Fi, or let's see. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, now we can tell Wesley to shut up. You know, okay, so I have been watching, I've been watching through Star Trek TNG again, because I found a Chrome add-in. It's called Super Netflix, I think it is. Hold on a second. Game's gonna hold up for just a second here. I gotta look at this. Yeah, Super Netflix. It's called Super Netflix, and it lets me watch Netflix shows at like 3 or 4 times the speed if I wanted to. But I find that 2 is as fast as I can get a show going and be able to still follow the conversation and plot. Even with Star Trek, where I know the plot, I can't keep up if it starts going faster than that. Okay, what did I just accomplish by doing this? But as a result, as a result, I've been watching Wesley again. Maybe he gets more annoying in later seasons, but he's really not as annoying as I thought he was, or as bad as a rap as he's been getting, I feel like. Okay. I'm not sure if I've actually accomplished anything by taking that connector. And John saying, "I love the conversation with your streams." Well, thank you. I really have enjoyed it because, like I said, I am somewhat, maybe antisocial is the wrong word. Maybe introverted. I am very introverted, and so one thing I have been working on just in my own personal life is small talk. That, you know, just, oh hey, someone asked how you were doing, and I'll tell them the answer, and then I'll just sit there, and then like I'll later be going, wait, you know, I should have asked them how they're doing because I do care, I do want to know, but it completely slipped my mind that that was something that I probably should have asked about, and so whenever, and it's not that I don't care about the person, it's just literally it slips my mind. I don't do very good at making that sort of small talk. And so doing a live stream normally I would have a really hard time with because I'd be like, I have no idea what I should be talking about right now. Like nothing springs to mind. One of the real nice things about the format that Anti-Trucker has been doing, or not Anti-Trucker necessarily, but when you get to a certain size, one of the nice things about that format is that it grants you a lot of freedom. Let's see. I should have everything blocked off sufficiently. Oh, I'm over here. It gives you a ton of freedom in letting people come up with the conversation for you, basically. Which, you know, that's not supposed to be a dig on anyone. Just a natural fact of life. Like, Came back just a little more. Would that work? You know, it's just a reality that as people are there and talking, I mean, how many times in this stream have one of y'all said something and I go, oh yeah, that's a neat subject, let's chit chat about it. And so this game has provided a great means of conversation starters, basically, where I wouldn't have necessarily thought about any. Let's say any. Yeah, I'm going to go with any of the things this game has brought up. But they're all interesting subjects. And so it has been a real fun game to do for that very reason. No! Yes! Yes! No! Oh, gosh. I thought I had the solution, but I don't. I need that block right there. Sci-Fi Nation saying it hurts, don't do it. And make Duke Nukem 3D look easy. Or this game makes Duke Nukem 3D look easy. You're very open with us, we appreciate it. Well, thank you, Sci-Fi. I certainly try to be, and it's not like, I don't know, I guess I'm just very much who I am, and so I never really think about it being anything else than that, if that makes sense. Okay. What am I missing here? Let's see. And John is saying, I'm also introverted, not good at small talk in person, but streams like yours, ATs and Birds, are good for interaction. They really are. And, you know, one of the things I like about writing is that I can sound much more witty writing because it gives me a time to think about how it sounds than I can sound just by myself talking. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, honestly, except for Bird, you're the first small channel I've watched. I'm impressed. And Cinnabon Bunny and DJ Odyssey. Yeah, you know, I know we've talked about this before, but we really have a really awesome community and a lot of really talented people making content on this on this community of ours, and I'm surprised. I did not think we would have had such a wealth of good content, and it's stuff like I know that if it weren't for this community, I wouldn't have 40 subscribers. I'd have like 2, my other account and my wife's, and that would be it. And like it's just the reason I only have that many is 100% because this community has supported each other, and it's not like we support people just because we're like, oh, okay, you're part of this community, I'll subscribe. It's being part of this community has given people who are such small channels to become recognized way before the algorithm would have let them. And that's one of the great things I love about the certified nerd area of the anti-tricker website, is that you know, it's just there to help each other out. People whose content is going to be good. Is that working? Is that really going to work? No, there's something. There's something. Okay, it's getting blocked right there. Let's see. Sci-Fi is saying, I think I sound more witty on the fly. If I write it, they will flee. And John is saying almost all of our small number of subs come from our community. Oh, it's so true. It is 100% true. And I wish there's a way we could somehow tweak that. Like, to somehow get the YouTube algorithm to realize that, hey, this is some good content here, but, you know, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. Okay, this isn't working. Actually, I mean, that right there is nice. Now I have kind of a real clean slate to work with. Okay. This one guy, I could set up like so. And he's connected to everything now. The problem is that this guy's stream is going to cut off my red one. Maybe I can do a temp connection like this. No. No, that's a dumb idea. No, it's not a dumb idea. We can totally do this. Oh, wait, yeah, that is a dumb idea. I need one connector to get to the red. Let's see, and John is saying almost all of my small number of subs come from the community. Oh, yeah, I read that. And my only content is my children playing games. Oh, that's neat. What sort of games do they play? I don't think I need to fix this. I'm not sub to you. I totally need to get a sub to you and start checking out your videos, John. I apologize. But what sort of games do they play? And Sci-Fi is saying he's one of the subs. And I had a bogus idea in my early creative stages for the channel. Music reviews. But forget the fake subs. Oh, man. That's one of the things I'm sad about YouTube is they miss out on so many good opportunities, like a music review. You can't even begin to do a music review. I've yet to meet any law system as rabid as the music lawyers. Like, it's insane. Okay, there's something I'm missing here. There would be no reason to open this gate unless it was somehow important.
is no shame in seeking another path. Leave this mystery for another day.
Harsh. Harsh. Excuse me for not getting it perfect. Let's see. John is saying they like to play Roblox, and Sci-Fi is saying I subbed to 3 music review channels. No strikes on ever on them. I wish I knew the magic sauce for what gets your channel striked and what wouldn't, because I mean I've had like on my personal channel I had my dad's funeral up, and it didn't get a strike, but it did get demonetized, which is silly because I don't have nearly enough content on there or subscribers for it to be monetized. I have like six subscribers, and I have no idea why, because I have 0 videos on there. You know, guys, it has been a little over 2 hours. I'm gonna call it there tonight. Come at this puzzle fresh the next time. And then let's see. Sci-Fi saying, but yet we review stuff and struck down. Forget fair use. And yeah, I talked about this in a video, but YouTube should not be an arbiter of copyright law. The only way I think a video should be able to be taken down is if we actually got a cease and desist copyright notice. And honestly, I think that just a bare minimum $20 fee is all it should take. Like, if you think you're legitimately not breaking copyright, you say, nope, I'm not doing this. And then the loser pays $20 is what it should come down to, because YouTube right now is 100% taking the position of you're guilty until proven innocent, and then we make it impossible for you to prove your innocence. They refuse to give contact information of who is claiming copyright. They're like, oh yeah, it's like I got copyrighted by the LDS, and the only LDS I know is the Church of the Latter-day Saints, and I'm pretty sure they don't own the rights to Farscape. So, you know, YouTube just makes 0 effort, and I think that's bad. Clearly, I do. Anyway, I said I was going to wrap it up, and then I saw a comment, and now I'm talking, and I'm really turning into anti-trucker and Bird here by doing stuff like that. So let's read these comments here real quick. John is saying, strike me, Dad, and we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. There you go, that's my best Obi-Wan impersonation. Not too great. And Sci-Fi is saying, KSI just fake channel a bunch of people. Huh. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And I was thinking we'd be able to get through this tonight, but it turns out that you can't save your game and restore it. So we are going for the tower, and hopefully the next stream we'll get it worked out. You guys have a great night, and I will see you guys next time.